Good point. Want to let you guys know about the voter fraud, and this is just one example out in Nevada. This is CBS 8 out in Nevada, talking to a man. You can tell he's a little distraught. You would be too if you found out your wife, who's been dead for 3 years, actually voted in Nevada.
Disbelief. It made no sense to me.
Kirk Hartle said he was surprised when he found out his wife, who died in 2017, had sent in a mail-in ballot.
I was surprised because she passed away 3 years ago. I was surprised to even get that.
Rosemary Hartle died at 52 from breast cancer. Her name is still on Clark County's voter rolls, and since everyone in those rolls got a ballot, one was sent to Rosemary. But Kirk says a ballot never got to his house.
That is pretty sickening to me, to be honest with you.
According to ballot tracks, the mail-in ballot was sent October 9th and returned the day before Election Day.
The reason why this happens, folks, is that the voter rolls, which are notoriously wrong all over the country, even though Judicial Watch is trying to get those voter rolls purged of dead voters and voters who no longer live in each and one of the states, lazy liberals, I say they're lazy, but they're really dragging their feet for a purpose. The minute they clean up their voter rolls is the minute they can stop cheating and doing what many of us believe they did in this election. So they're everybody tells me, oh, it's just anecdotal. The 170-year-old voting in Michigan, which is not anecdotal, it's actually record. Apparently somebody got up from the grave and voted in Michigan. I was speaking to a candidate out in Pennsylvania just yesterday. They discovered dead people voting in their race. And liberals look at you with a straight face and say, oh, well, that's just how we win elections, you see? How dare you try to stop we Democrats from counting every one of our votes, even from dead people? I got into a, remember yesterday I told you guys I got into a conversation with off the air with a liberal who's a frequent caller, and I invited him onto the program. I invited that liberal to come onto the program because, look, that's just who we are as conservatives. And I think the reason why he didn't want to come on is because, and this is just a normal, everyday, hate-filled liberal. The reason why he didn't want to come on is he didn't want to accept that I would be offering him an opportunity that his side would never offer us. I mean, over at CNN, over at MSNBC, they never invite conservative guys like me to come and speak with them to get our perspective. Of course they don't. So the fact that we would offer a platform like I offer so many of you when I take your phone calls, right here on the Chris Salcedo Show, it would be tacit acceptance that we are superior Americans to them. They believe in shutting down our voice. They believe in suppressing. They don't believe in free speech anymore. We believe in the robust debate. And that's why I think so many of these left-wingers don't even bother calling and engaging. And those that do, I mean, you can have the distinction of saying, yeah, I went onto a conservative talk show host's program. We had a debate about an issue. We were allowed to speak, and gee, you don't get that at CNN. You don't get that at MSNBS. You don't get that in the vast majority of the biased press, do you? Mitch McConnell up on the Hill yesterday talking about how this situation we have with legal issues being discussed in the courts is nothing unusual. Let it play out, he says. And I think Mitch McConnell's right about this. And I just want to point out the hypocrisy of the majority of you in the press. That we're in no hurry for Hillary Clinton to concede. You were in no hurry for Al Gore to concede. And you wanted to let them have every opportunity in the courts that they could. But you don't want to extend that same courtesy to Donald Trump. My question is why?
I'm going to concentrate on what we are trying to do here in the remainder of this Congress. I don't think we're going to have an interrupted transition to whoever is the next administration.
Why would we?
I think we ought to quit all the hand-wringing and not act like this is extraordinary. We're going to get through this period, and we'll swear in the winner on January the 20th, 2021, just like we have every 4 years since 1793.
Absolutely. Mitch McConnell is 100% correct. Now, coming up on the Chris Salcedo Show, What is coming if we are cursed with a third Obama term? What is coming our way? Well, you all know that higher taxes are coming away because they ran on that. You know that a degraded U.S. military is coming your way. And you also know the United States will be going back into the Paris Climate Accord, which says America will hurt its economy, but China doesn't have to. China's participation is all voluntary. That's what the Paris Climate Accord said. It's all voluntary, but you can guarantee that Democrat socialists who have a goal of harming you and your children, they will make sure that our economy is harmed. It's Chris Salcedo's show. We'll give you another consequence of what's coming your way. It has to do with the China virus. You know, the virus that's killing Americans, unleashed by Beijing Biden's friends over in China? Well, there's a consequence. Your election matters, your vote matters. Back in a minute on NewsMax and The Voice.